we're going to go ahead and get started with something a little bit different. So I know we've all been sitting in a panel. I want us to go and have a quick mobility break for us to all get loose. So if we could all stand up, this is something I love to do in my classes. We're going to go and do something that I call shaking it out. So we're going to start from 5 and go down to 1. And then we're going to sit down into our seats as fast as we possibly can. I'll show what it looks like. So we're going to shake out our right hand for five reps, basically. Then our left hand for 5 reps. Then our right foot for 5 reps. Our left foot, and then start back, and then go to 4, okay? And then we'll continuously get faster and faster. Last person to sit down is a rotten egg, and they have to get out. They get kicked out, okay? All right, everyone count with me. We're going to start with our right hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Come on, count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Go, 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 go. All right, you're out. All way in the back. Sorry, Chilling, you got Okay, awesome. It's good for us to all get stretched, get the blood flowing and everything, get close to our neighbors and everything. Thank you everyone for joining this panel. My name is Adeel Afshar. I'm the Managing Director of the ACE NextGen Accelerator, and I have 2 very fabulous guests with me today that were superstars of our accelerator. They pitched for us and they support the community with all the work that they're doing. So first and foremost, I have Samreen Arshad, the founder of Samreen's Vanity, and she's a beauty extraordinaire. Like I said, she's founder of the cosmetic line Samreen's Vanity. It's crafted by artistry and rooted in tradition. Samreen is on a mission to bring South Asian beauty to a global stage. And I really like Samreen because she's celebrating the beauty of different skin tones, different colors of our Asian community at a time when it's so needed. So Samreen, would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself and your business?
Hey everyone, thank you for coming. I was a little worried. I was like, people gonna show up today? I'm Samreen Arshad. I'm the CEO and founder of a cosmetic brand called Samreen's Vanity. It is crafted by artistry because I've been a makeup artist for the last 11 years. And I was an influencer, a beauty influencer for like 5-6 years, and that's when I just got really involved into the craft of makeup, and I enjoy it so much. So in 2020, I launched my cosmetic line, and now we're relaunching the brand this year because it just exceeded our expectations from where we started. And now we are bringing in holistic medicine, something that I grew up on in my life in Pakistan, like eating gooseberry and like almond oil and all the good stuff. So we're bringing signification into makeup and we're relaunching the brand. So that's about me.
Awesome. Could we please get a round of applause for Samreen? Also, I think she wins the Best Dressed Award of the panel, probably in the conference.
I didn't get the memo of blue and black, so I'm the one.
You can tell she's very much into the artistry of her fashion and her makeup and everything, so great to have you here. And then we also have my good friend, mentor, coach, one-armed pull-up extraordinaire, John Victoria. John Victoria is the incoming chairperson of ACE NextGen, also the founder of Polianna, as well as a startup called Blue Collar Engine. So, John, what is it that you don't do? Or you can go and introduce yourself as well and your business more so as well.
Yeah, I just want to say that it's so surreal for me to be here. About 8-9 years ago, I was a completely different path of work. I was actually in the military. I was in training to be a U.S. naval officer, following footsteps of my dad. But then I realized that I don't know if that's the path for me. And so I decided to found Polianna, a search engine optimization marketing agency. We get local businesses ranked at the top of Google. And we founded a CRM platform for companies in the trades. So a little bit about me.
Awesome. Thank you both. Can we get a round of applause for John as well? So we're here to discuss a little bit about the accelerator, so I can give a brief overview of that. ACE NextGen offers an annual accelerator. It's an 8-week boot camp where we help people get connected to coaching, capital, and community, similar to what you all are doing here. We have classes and curriculum on everything from business operations to fundraising, everything along those lines. And we give you opportunities to go and get connected one-on-one with experts like John, like Samreen, to help you grow your businesses. But like I mentioned, they are both graduates of our first ever accelerator program. And one of the things that I want to ask you guys is, you're so accomplished, right? Your businesses are booming, you're thriving. John, you're on your 112th business. Why even sign up for an accelerator? Why did you guys sign up for an accelerator, and what was the interest in that?
So I'm a big believer that you're always a white belt. Right? No matter what you are, what you've done, what you've accomplished, there's always something else for you to learn. And so for me, there's an opportunity to get connected with great mentors, great coaches, great education. I show up. When I first started my business, I got my start by joining a mastermind group where I learned digital marketing. And every single year, I always take on additional coach, additional mastermind, because I feel like it's lifelong learning, and there's always something new coming up. And so when the accelerator came up, I was like, I gotta join.
Pretty much what John said here. I feel, and this is something that I've heard in the industry, so it's not my code, but I live by it. Your network is your net worth. So you really need to keep building it. The people I connected with like 5-6 years ago, just at some conference, they're the ones I'm either working with today, or they're connecting me to someone. So whatever you do, no matter you're an entrepreneur or you're any kind of business or job you're at, you really need to be connected to the right people. Eventually it comes down to that. And the learning part is, the industry is changing so fast, especially in beauty or just in general. Like everything is evolving, and like I'm trying to catch up to AI, and I'm just trying to understand like the basics of it. So all of these together, I feel that you just have to keep yourself in the system all the time.
Nice, thank you both for those awesome answers. I wanna ask about your experience. So some of the highlights of the accelerator is that we bring in a bunch of different types of speakers. For example, we bring in the ex-chief marketing officer of Diamond Princess Cruises to talk about what it was like to have a ship stuck in the sea during COVID, right? And he would go and express like, hey, whatever your entrepreneurial problems are, you didn't have to go and deal with a ship like stuck at sea. So like those are some highlights for me in terms of the accelerator. But I wanna ask you both, like what were the best takeaways that you had from the accelerator? Was it the community? Was it the knowledge? Was it the access to capital providers? And if other folks are interested in joining an accelerator, what can they look forward to as the highlights of the program?
I feel, for me as a founder, and anybody who's a founder is going to tell you that it's a very lonely journey, and it never gets better. So the only way you can really find motivation, support, is by being connected to other founders, because we understand each other's pain. So during the program, I feel just hearing everybody talk about or connect on the same thing, be it capital raise or be it like just launch or whatever, or expanding your business, scaling, retail launches, I feel like I just felt connected, and I felt like I was less alone.
And for me, there was a session on pitching your business. It might sound a bit weird, I run a marketing agency, but I don't really pitch myself very often for funding. And so there was a session actually, Adeel, that you did. Adeel, yeah, you did, yeah. You actually ran through a pitch yourself for your own company.
Oh yeah, that's great.
And when I was designing my pitch for the pitch competition, I actually just went through yours and like, okay, how do I integrate this as part of my thing? And so for me, that was, because typically it's like, for me, it's one-to-one kind of sales conversations. And so seeing that, it really opened my eyes. How do I actually pitch myself?
Nice, and under 20%.
There we go.
20%?
Yeah. Awesome. So that's all I have for promoting the accelerator and everything. That was the start. I want to go into the meat of what I think the entrepreneurs here want to hear about and understand. It's your founder journey. And Samreen, you were alluding to that it's a very lonely journey. John, you've done some amazing things in terms of like dropping out of college and stuff like that. So I want to start with John on your founder story. So you were talking about being in the Naval Academy, you know, you had it all. You were set to become a naval officer at Annapolis. You know, that's a lot of people's dreams, and then you decided it wasn't for you. So can you tell us a little bit about your founder journey, and how did you really decide to go onto the path that you did for entrepreneurship, and what really made you take that giant leap to leave college and this life that you had set for yourself and become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I guess question for everybody. Have you ever had the feeling that like you were meant for something more? So never had that feeling before? Right? Even though you're doing something great, you might have a great job, a great business, a great opportunity. That's how I felt when I was about 20 years old, about to become a naval officer. My mom, my dad, they were so proud of me. My dad immigrated over to the United States, joined the U.S. Navy, you know, Filipino American, and you know, I was doing this thing, like I was going about the motions, and my parents were so happy. But I felt like there was something in me that wasn't being fulfilled. And so, for me, while I was there, you know, as we were going through, you know, basically boot camp for leave summer, we were going through the motions, you know, training and you know, doing the education. In my free time, I would just take the time to figure out, are there other businesses that I could try? One of the ones that was kind of funny that I did was, I thought I could be a life coach back then. It was really into personal development. I had like a single client, and then I told my mentor about it, and he was like, John, you're 20 years old. Who is going to take life advice from you? You haven't experienced life. What are you?
20 years.
20 years of life. And so I canned that business. I thought that maybe I could do a textbook selling business because everyone had these excess textbooks at the Naval Academy, and I was like, okay, maybe I can sell these. I sold about $500, $600 of it. I was jumping in dumpsters, you know, trying to find these textbooks. Ended up not getting traction. And then the final thing for me was I began doing some web work. And I began ranking websites. I was following this course. And I realized, wow, even though I didn't expect this to be my path, I feel like this could be an opportunity to take control over my own destiny and not live the life that, you know, I believe others had for me. And so that's how I got started. When I jumped in, didn't have any business experience. I didn't really have much of a business network. For me, I just had relentless optimism. I was just showing up to events, shaking hands, kissing babies, you know, all 9 yards. And it was just grit for that first year. I made $0 in sales, but it was just grit and belief for that first year.
Nice, and I appreciate you asking everybody about, you know, do you believe in more for yourself, right? And I think that's what that attracts people to come here. Is that, you know, everyone sitting in this audience, like I'm inspired by each and every single one of you because I you know, candidly want to be like you. You know, I want to be that amazing entrepreneur that's going out to get it. And I think your story is like one of like the American dream. It's very American too, going to the Naval Academy. But I think even more, Samreen, you have a more American story. If I can say that. You actually did immigrate here at 21, pretty much with nothing. Can you tell us a little bit more about like your story, your founder journey, and how did you even, you know, make that decision to immigrate and start your business as well?
John, Naval Academy. That's all. I was like, entrepreneurship? So I, born and brought up in Pakistan, I went here until I was 22, and I wanted to come to college here. I'm the first graduate in my family, first woman graduate in my family, because it's not traditional in my family to go to college. And I came here, I went to the University of Michigan, and I got a business degree. And I started working at General Motors, corporate sales, did that, super sexy. I was just really enjoying my career. Fast forward, I did another immigrant move. I married a doctor, you know, and made my mom very proud. And then I moved to Buffalo, New York, and I was just there for 9 years while my husband was just establishing his practice. So at that time, I had my son, and keep going in and out, or so I had my I had my son, and I had severe postpartum depression. It was clinical. I was in and out of hospital, and at that time, I was not into makeup at all. I didn't know anything about makeup. I probably owned like a couple of lipsticks, and that's it. Because I was an automotive girl, so it was very different for me. So I found my love for makeup, and it literally brought me out of my postpartum depression, just watching YouTube tutorials. And it just took me to this very beautiful space, and I fell in love with the transformation of makeup. So from nothing to teaching myself to be a makeup artist, establishing that, I was contacted by Cardi B's team. I always share that story because that's like probably the only highlight of my my makeup journey, artist journey. And I was like, okay, great. So I accomplished that, and then I just wasn't feeling it. I became a makeup influencer when everybody was an influencer, and even today more so. Did that for 4 or 5 years, but same thing like you said, I just didn't know where I'm supposed to be, but I knew I wasn't where I am right now. And just imagine like being a woman of color, an immigrant, so it's not like I had to learn everything from my accent to just everything, you know, every immigrant can relate when you come here as a 22-year-old. And just teaching myself that I knew if I've come this far, I can just do something else. Took all my savings and my husband's savings, which were way more than mine. I put it into my business. I found, you know, a great lab in Germany. I convinced them to work with me, which was over 8 months. And just from there, it was like baby steps. So the only thing I tell people is that, and I didn't know this myself, I never had a goal. My goal was always the next step. And till today, I'm like that. I just wanted to launch the perfect eyeliner. And I told my husband, I'm like, if it fails, babe, I want to have eyeliner for life. Because my MOQs were like 5,000. So I was like, it was a risk. I was so sure that I could do this. There was one product, then second product, then QVC happened. It was just every little step. When QVC happened, I had never seen a woman like me on QVC. Nobody sees a woman like me on QVC. So we recorded it. I don't know if it's ever going to happen again. But we did that, and it was just baby steps. And I was just recently, I can't even tell you, like there's so many things that you think I'm sitting here and I'm very accomplished. I'm facing rejection every single day. Even though I've made it till here, and I was on the Today Show, which is going to air in a week or so. You know, everything organic. So all I'm telling you is like, I didn't even know about makeup 10 years ago. And today I'm sitting here talking to you like I know what the hell I'm doing. But I just know one thing is that just think about the next step. Don't think about, like today, I don't know how I'm going to rebrand and launch because we're looking for investors. And I've had plenty of men told me that I don't know what I'm doing. But whatever. Like I know what I'm doing. And I think that's the only thing I can say about that.
Yeah, nice.
Next step, just the next step.
Yeah, exactly. And I think something that you're alluding to is that we oftentimes get caught up in just like figuring out what that next step is, and we don't have time to go and reflect on that entire journey. I want to go and ask about your big breakout points. Like where did you feel successful in that entrepreneurial journey? And you know, for me, one of the stories I like to share is the first beauty show that we ever did. And Samreen, you probably know that beauty shows are a shit show, honestly. So for those that don't know, I started a cosmetics brand for Muslims. We emptied our bank account, right, for the first beauty show, because we're like, this is gonna be so sick. There's Muslims everywhere. We can sell to all of them. So it was a three-day event. And can anyone guess how many sales we got on the first day? Let's see. Any raise of hands? Or anyone? Just go ahead and shout it out. How many sales do you think I got on my first day?
$3,000.
$3,000. $100. Let's go. Keep going. Let's hear it more. Price is right. You know, you get a prize. Seven. Zero. I made zero fucking sales on the first day, and I emptied the company bank account. Right. I was like, man, I'm so good at killing companies. This is impressive. But you know, it pushed me to a point to start just like going crazy and trying to do things outside the box. So I started pitching the janitors, the non-Muslim janitors, and I got my first sale at midnight of the first fucking beauty show. And that helped me get the courage and the confidence to go on, and we made thousands of dollars of sales throughout the next 2 days. But I wanted to ask both of you, like, you're struggling through your entrepreneurial journey. John, you were talking about getting no sales your first year and just talking to people. What do you feel like your first breakout was? Was it your first sale, or when did you really feel yourself to get that confidence back in that entrepreneurial journey when you started to doubt yourself?
Yeah, I guess I'll share a low point and then a high point that first year. So low point was about 8 months in. I'd taken this loan out for $35,000, and I was just spending and spending and spending all this money. Money was dwindling, and I'm wondering, did I make the right decision?
Every day.
Were my parents right? Those sorts of questions, and it got pretty dark one day. I was reflecting my life, decisions, and I remember just crying, crying to myself, and just I really don't see a future. Like, what's going on here? And the next day, a friend of mine shared with me this book, Think and Grow Rich. I think some people have heard of that book, and I think it's chapter 9, and it's on persistence. And he told me, John, I know you're going through a tough time right now. I want you to read this chapter out loud every single day on persistence
Really?
for the next month.
There's no way you did that.
No, and I did do it. I actually did it. And I think that's what carried me for the next 3 months. And so my first sale actually came. I was actually giving a talk. It was a self-hosted talk at WeWork. And I was talking about SEO, search engine optimization, what we do. And there was a lady in the crowd. Her name was Tanya. And she ran a moving company in Hyattsville, Maryland, where I'm based now. And after the talk, she was like, John, I want to work with you.
Wow.
And I'd been dreaming of this moment for basically years, or not years, like about a year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, someone's actually going to pay me money. And so when it actually happened, it made me realize, wow, like people do want to do stuff with me, and maybe there's something here. And so fast forward, 4 years later, we began building the company, we began building up a team, and actually through the help of ACE NextGen and the programming, we actually had hit our first $1 million year in 2021.
There we go.
And so,
what a crazy story too, and I don't know if do folks in the crowd, have you had that experience where you're like, wow, someone wants to pay me money?
Actually, I have no idea what that means.
I don't know. I remember feeling like a phony the first time that someone paid me. I was like, really? Are you sure? Like, I could give it back, But Samreen, I want to ask you the same question. What have been some low points, and how do you find strength out of those low points to come back and be as amazing as you are, as fabulous
Good
as you are?
wardrobe.
Huh?
Good
Good wardrobe. Nice.
We are nowhere here, but I've been working on this brand exclusively for the last 5 years. I have not gotten a paycheck yet. We just hired a executive from Estee Lauder who is literally being paid nothing. I'm not joking. I sometimes I wish she was here. I'm like, why are you with me? She left her 22 years at Estee Lauder, and she is working with me right now. So I feel my lowest moment was 3 days ago. I had a breakdown, and maybe 2 days before that, and maybe last week. So let's just keep it real. So I don't think you cry a lot, but I cry, and I'm telling you, I literally get a rejection. I'm gonna just, just think about it, cry it out, and my next thing is, well, what's next? That you have to do that. You have to pull yourself up without even knowing where you're going. But I think I have 3 points where I thought, okay, I'm up to something. First was QVC. When I got the call, I thought that was false. And I ran up to my mother-in-law because I didn't grow up here.
Do you want to explain QVC to the folks in the crowd that don't know?
I'm telling you, because I went up to my mother-in-law and said, what is this? I did. And she's like, oh my God, QVC. And I was like, yeah, but what is this? She's like, it's the biggest running and the longest running retail show in the history ever. It's the biggest platform of online shopping ever. And it's actually for old people. And it's like old Caucasian people. We're on there. And I was like, great, I will take it. This is national TV, right? So I was just in that glory for like 5 months. I had to prepare for it, and I was on there for 7 minutes. We got one sale.
Nice.
One. When people sell out on it, we were so prepared. We had one sale. Like I said, I was not supposed to be on QVC. It was just different. But it's a feather in my hat, and I talk about it all the time. And then the second thing was, I think when we reached out with Shark Tank, I thought it was phenomenal. But that's when we decided we were going to go into a rebrand. And it takes 1.5 years for the process to complete for Shark Tank to air you. So when we were 7 months in, we decided on a rebrand, so we had to step back. A huge decision as a very small startup and entrepreneur where you need that limelight. But at that time, it was that decision. I'm like, no, it's not the right time. And my recent glory was, I'm just saying, like, it's always something that pushes you, and then you're like, you settle into that, that's the next thing. And then recently, I think it was like 6 months ago, my CMO messaged me, she's like, hey, I want you to know Harper reached out to me, and they asked for you exclusively. And I was like, Harper who? Not because I didn't know Harper Bazaar, but I did not expect them to reach out for my commentary. You know, I mean, it's just all these things, like the little wins, and I wear it with pride. I talk about it, because that is what really keeps me real to myself, that I have come this far on my own, no PR agency, not a single marketing dollar, because we didn't have it. So,
yeah. No, and I think, I think you both are mentioning a lot about the struggles. You're talking about crying. I cry a lot too. I mean, I'm gonna be honest too. I cry all the time. I want to talk about support systems as well, and how did you find your support systems? Because for us as Asian Americans, right? My mom told me to go to college, and I could do anything that I want in the world. Become a lawyer, engineer, doctor, right? And I feel like, you know, yeah, exactly. Like, anything you want, those three. And so, you know, oftentimes you can't find support systems within your own family because they don't understand that journey that you're on. So, you know, whose shoulder do you come to cry on when you have those hard times? And, you know, as you guys are thinking about that, I do want to shout out my beautiful wife is in the crowd. You want to wave somebody? No, you said my wife should know who she is. And she's been that support system for me. So I had a lot of like doubts in myself, a lot of struggles about the entrepreneurial journey, even like coming up and speaking here. But it's always been her support and her believing in me more than I believe in myself that's allowed me to go and succeed. So shout out to my beautiful wife for me. But for you guys, who's your support system for like your entrepreneurial woes, your struggles that you experience on the basically daily, right?
I guess there's two angles here. So when I first started out, I would go to Business Networking International, BNI, if anyone's familiar with BNI. I attended the Chamber of Commerce events, and a lot of them locally. I would talk to people, but I realized that one was not like the other. I felt like I stood out. I didn't feel like I could relate to anyone at these events.
Yeah.
And but then all of a sudden, like, I had a friend of mine who called me up and she said, oh, there's this thing happening in Miami, this group called ACE NextGen. It was back in 2018.
I've never heard of that. Anyone heard about that? I mean,
I'm busy. I don't know if I can make it out, but look cool, I'll come out. And so I remember my first person that I met, some of you might know Ian So. Does anyone know Ian So? Ian So, one of the founders of ACE NextGen.
Yeah.
So he was one of the first people that I met, and I was like, Ian, like one of my goals is I'm trying to build this size of a company. And he was like, John, I actually have that size of a company. And I'm like, wait a second, like you're only like, I mean, we're pretty close in age, and like you did that. And it made me realize there are people just like me doing the things that I want to do. And I realized that there was someone that could empathize with my situation. And so for me, it was ACE NextGen, definitely the start.
And to double click on that, did you just hound him and ask him for advice and just take whenever you built that relationship with him? Like what were the keys to going and building actual good relationships that helped you on that entrepreneurial journey?
It was curiosity. I'm deeply interested in how people make their decisions and why they do what they do, what's their motivation, where are they looking to go. And if there's ways that I can help add to get there, we'll do that. But that's basically it, just being curious about people and their journey. And also when I get advice, I try to follow through on the advice. I've had different mentors of mine tell me, you know, they hate it when they give advice, and then 6 months later, the same person comes to them and is like, they're basically in the same position, didn't even act on any of the things that they gave them.
Waste of time.
And so for me, I always just make it a point to, if someone tells me to read a book or do something, I do that.
Nice. And Samreen, I want to ask you about your support system, right? Because you immigrated from Pakistan, and so you left a lot of your support system to come here as well. So who do you go to for support? Who's your support system when you're on that roller coaster of entrepreneurship?
Well, it was very much like you. I can go to University of Michigan, being the first woman to go to college in America, as long as you come back and join. My dad has a textile company in Dubai. And he's like, you're gonna come back and I've invested all this in you. You're gonna come and like do this. I had no intentions of ever going back. And I was able, no, never. And then when I joined GM and they sponsored me to stay here, that's when they were like, oh, you know, it was a big deal back home to get sponsored and to stay here, right? So we did that, but I remember that when I decided to become a makeup artist out of my postpartum journey, my father called me and he said, golden words, is this why I sent you to University of Michigan to become a makeup artist? Very, very typical, very expected, no offense taken. I was like, whatever, because you know, but I'm just saying, like, it's just a mindset, because in our culture, security is everything. And entrepreneurship has no security. You're literally, like, you've seen that meme, right? You're building a plane as you fall. And I cannot emphasize enough. Like, yesterday, well, I'm gonna come back to this. So then when I decided to launch my cosmetic line, I was so afraid to tell anybody, but the only supporter I had was truly my husband, who is such a successful surgical oncologist, and it's okay. So he's such a successful surgeon, and I know my family would have been very happy if I was like this trophy wife sitting home, going to brunch. You know, it sounds amazing though now. But it was just never for me. Like, it was just like, I just felt so devalued doing that. So I started building the brand. It took me 2 years, day and night, so many errors, like formula comes first or packaging comes first. Took me 8 months to figure out, because no connection, right? My entire family, my best friends did not know until two months before launch that I'm actually launching a cosmetic line. The only person who knew was my husband, because I did not want anybody to discourage me. Because there was once, I think I tossed an idea, like, you know, one day maybe I'll have somebody put my name on a lipstick or something. And I think my mom went like, and who's gonna buy that? And I was, I mean, in a very funny way. She's super funny with her comments, but sometimes they're not that great. And I was like, I don't know, like somebody will. So when I was launching it, I just didn't want that discouragement. So that's one thing I'll say, like, man, if you believe in something, do it yourself. If you fail, I was just like decreasing the time of that failure. If I launch and I fail, it'll be like few months of, you know, like listening to everybody, but at least I did it. If I had told them early on, I have a feeling I wouldn't have started. So my husband till today, and today I don't know what it is, he tells me, when I was a makeup artist, he said, this is not for you. When I was an influencer, I was very successful. He's like, this is not for you. I'm like, what else can I do with makeup? Like, I couldn't even think about having a cosmetic line as an immigrant. Like, beauty space is very saturated. And think about it, like a brown woman trying to bring South Asian beauty to mainstream beauty, it sounds like just like such a fantasy. So I think till today, and now he says this is not for me. So I don't know like what I'm going to do next, but it's just, you need that one person. Like Adeel has his wife, I have my husband, but we're very fortunate. This is not common. A lot of times your partner is the one who's not letting you move forward. So just you need one support system.
Yeah, and I think one of the funny things in ACE NextGen that I'm hearing in your story as well is that whenever we have someone that quits their corporate job, there's an eruption of applause. Anywhere else, you'd be like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, you know, do you need help? I can find you another job. Here, we're like,
Are you
"Fuck
sure you
yeah!"
weren't let go? Are you
Yeah.
sure? Think about it.
No, yeah, and I think it's always funny whenever we hear that. And John's a big supporter of people quitting their corporate jobs or quitting college too at that point. But we're gonna open it up for questions in a little bit. So please think of your questions. I'm gonna go and start calling out on people randomly too. Zubin, I'm looking at you. But I wanna. The last question I wanna ask is that you guys have been on this amazing entrepreneurial journey. You know, we started taking that leap and finding the courage within ourselves to, you know, quit our corporate jobs, to go and do a year without sales, and then all the way coming to here with our support systems and trying to figure out what's next. But I want to ask, if you could go back in time, right, and talk to your younger self and give that younger self a piece of advice when they were starting that entrepreneurial journey, what would you tell yourself and why?
I have to think about it.
No, we're gonna think.
There's so many.
Yeah, for this one, it's tough because it was both a pro and a con. When I first started my business journey, I said yes to basically everything because I didn't have a framework of what would actually work. And so, oh, you want to go to that? Yeah, I'll go there. You want to go to the conference? I'll go there. Oh, I should meet that person? I'll do that. And reflecting over the past few years, I realized that I didn't really have as much of a direction. It was just kind of like trying to find where's the place that I can make my direction. And so that was a pro because it opened up many opportunities, but it was a con because I feel like I had different peers of mine who were a lot more focused than I was. They had better boundaries and said no to more things. And because of that, they got traction a lot faster than I did. And so for me, it's both a pro and a con, but it's clarifying what you want to say yes to, and that would be a few things, but also a lot of what you want to say no to. And so that's one thing I really wish early on. I wish I did set better boundaries to protect myself from myself.
Wow.
Actually,
Protect yourself from yourself. And I think that's a key too. It's like we want to focus on quality over quantity in things that we're doing, as well as like the networks that we have, and that's why, right, like ACE NextGen is just focused on quality and growing sustainably with high quality people. So thank you for that. And Samreen, same question goes to you.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing was that if I could tell, like when I was a makeup artist or becoming a makeup artist, I remember I just wanted the first client to hire me for a wedding or whatever. And then I feel I'm a very greedy person, and I think greedy is used in a negative way. There's nothing negative about being greedy. If you want to be greedy for business, you should be greedy. If you want to be greedy for fitness, you want to be the fittest, you should be greedy. You should want more, because nobody's going to ask for you. You have to work for it. So I openly say, I was like, I am greedy. I wanted the next step. I don't care about what other people are doing. I stay in my lane and I go. But when I was a makeup artist, I wanted that. Then when I was an influencer, I just wanted my first PR package. Because I would see all these people getting like, flaunting their whatever, unboxing videos, which I hate. And as a company, we have a rule, we'll never do unboxing videos. I think it's just like going to a birthday party and seeing them open their gifts, and then you go home like, oh, like, shit, I didn't get anything. So I don't want to see that shit. So, yeah, so just with that, today I'm like, I want to be in retail, but even before I'm in retail, I only see my brand in Middle East and Asia, because I'm building a brand there, because they're my people, they want this. So just be greedy and be open about it and don't be apologetic.
Yeah, exactly. Know what you want and go out there and take it, because no one's gonna go out and give it to you. Yeah. I wanna go and open it up for questions from the audience. So feel free to go, raise your hand. Melvin, I'm gonna call on you as well. And let's have Ari go first. Here, let's see.
Awesome. Thank you, Adeel. Hey guys, wonderful hearing your stories. Oh, okay, all right.
Let's make it awkward.
Making it awkward. Hi everyone, I'm Ari. I'm from Chicago, ACE NextGen. I'm from Chicago too. Fun. Okay. Here's the thing. I really resonate with your story in particular, Samreen. I also came here from Bali, Indonesia, to Chicago in 2011, also in my 20s. My question for you is particularly around building a network, right? Not knowing anybody, right? starting from scratch, building that network, what was your approach? Who do you go to? Like, where do you start? Like, what was your, I guess, strategic approach, if there's even one?
Yeah.
What was that journey look like for you?
Thank you for that question, and I have a very great answer for it. It is that, and it's kind of opposite to John's experience. My thing was I did anything and everything I possibly could. So when I wanted to get PR packages, and I was just, it's so hard to break through that. It's like, I didn't look like the girl on Instagram at that time. I was a mom, I was 31 years old. Nobody wanted to send me PR packages. Like, it was a different brand at that time. So I remember I would go to the makeup conventions. Probably a year I did this. There were probably 3 at that time. This is pre-COVID, 2015. It would be a 3-day convention, and I would go 3 days from the moment it opened till it ended, not know a single person, and just try to meet every brand owner there and try to introduce myself. I did that for 3 days, every day, and the first one that sent me a PR package after like 8 months or something was CoverGirl. And then, it's just one of those things, but to get that one, I mean, money, I would fly to LA, I would literally stay in like the cheapest hotel I could get, because yes, I mean, we had a family, we had a son, like, budget was tight at that time. It still is, will never be enough. So, I feel like that consistency and that resilience got me where I am for every little thing. So now I do it for networking. If I'm called somewhere, I'm going to be there.
Nice. Thank you for that. And okay, we keep going. We have time for 2 more questions. Sam, you're gonna have to yell all the way in the back. Sam.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. My question is, you're both part of the Accelerator program. Can you talk about just one sort of a moment where there was a great learning that you remember, or an aha moment during the program?
Yeah, so I think for me there was a session by, I think it was Joanne on social media.
Yeah.
And so for me, this was actually for a different project I was working on. It's for the USS Telesforo Trinidad. It was actually applying it in different contexts.
Can you explain what that is?
Oh yes, so basically it's a nonprofit focused on helping it's the first naval ship being named after a Filipina.
Yeah.
And so in the session they talked about defining your avatar. Who is the person that is going to be the end user? And in this case it was someone who's going to be donating or volunteering for the campaign.
Yeah.
And it was just an absolute masterclass in what was shared, and we used AI to form an avatar and how to come up with the right language and all the messaging that was done just like that, like very instantly. And so I think if there's a recording, right? You have access to it. So if you want to have the same amazing experience I had, I would get the recording. Yeah.
You gotta sign up for this accelerator. We have time for 1 more question. Anyone want to be brave enough? Go ahead in the center right there.
Here? Okay.
Yeah.
My
What's
name is
your
Juki.
name?
Huh?
Juki?
Yeah.
Okay,
My name is
Juki.
Juki. I really like the imagery that our makeup artists give us. Like, entrepreneurship is like you're building a plane as it's falling. And then I was wondering more on what stage of your life or what factors, depending on the stage, you should, or like what height of your plane should be before you start your entrepreneurship journey, right? Do you need to drop out of college to do that?
Yeah.
Do you need to be an immigrant to do that? Do you need to, get a support system or networking system before you start your entrepreneurship journey, where there's no those factors?
I mean, did you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was like, sorry. So honestly, there's no right or wrong answer. Like Mark Zuckerberg dropped out, and I immigrated here, but my journey started out of postpartum depression. It had nothing to do with me coming here. So you really just have to know, like, I don't know how to say this because all these sounds so wordy. Like, listen to yourself, do you, and you will know. No, you will never know. You really won't ever know. I don't know. I don't know today. I mean, today I know I've come so far that I know, I always tell my team, I didn't come this far to come this far. I have to go forward. But it took a long time of that confidence. So if anybody tells you, like, you'll know it, you'll never know it. You just need to start. And you'll fail, and then you start again. I mean, that is how I would take it, right?
Yeah. Agreed. I don't think there's ever a right time.
Never.
I mean, when I started, it was any logical person like this. You should not do this, right? You have no network, you have no capital, you have no business skills.
Maybe look at me. I would have told you don't do it.
I don't think there's ever a right time. I think with everything in life, starting a relationship or having kids, there's never a right time, and you just make it work. This is what I think, right? You just go for
Face
it.
your fear.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like I was so scared of people finding out that I'm gonna fail. I didn't tell anybody, but I did it. So,
I think we gotta just get your mind right. I think that would be the thing, because it's going to potentially be a brutal experience going through it.
Yeah.
And so you need to be sure in yourself, even though the external is one way, you need to get the internal right.
Nice.
So that's the key.
Nice. I think we're at time, so we have to kind of please come up. I think, one of the things that we've been talking about is a lot of the low points, and John, you mentioned how brutal it is, and I want to finish off with a quote that I really like. It's that tough times don't last. Does anyone know how to finish this? Tough people do, right? And both of you are the embodiment of tough people. So thank you for being here to speak to our audience, and thank you for continuing the amazing work that you do.